Man, look here. It's 11:20 in the morning, January 22nd, 2026. 2 days ago, I put up a video on my YouTube, King Bread 1011, and I stated that I was in tiny home unit number 35. And there was this dude named Brian in there that I didn't really get along with that dude, and they moved me into another tiny home unit. The whole point that I'm making is my video got hacked with voice recognition, and it got me saying tiny home unit number 31. I didn't move into tiny home unit number 31 until like February 2025 or some shit like that. I was in tiny home unit number 35 when I first got to the tiny home unit shelter in Los Angeles, California. You know what I'm saying? September 17th, 2024. I moved to the tiny home shelter. This dude named Kendrick was the social worker of this other guy that was my roommate. And that guy that was my roommate, I don't remember his name, but he moved into that tiny home unit number 35 for like 2 days, and then he moved out. Then they moved some skinny dude in there. This skinny dude that was like real tall, dark skinned dude. He told me everybody around like the area called him Slim. He told me he was from like around like MacArthur Park area. I walked in the room one day and I saw spit on the floor. I didn't see that dude Slim in there, but I saw spit on the floor. And then I saw that dude walking around the tiny home units, walking in and out of people's tiny home units, saying that he was looking for his stuff. Then he went in the bathroom for a minute, came out of the bathroom, and then went in and out of people's stuff again. And they ended up kicking that dude out because he was going in and out of people's tiny home unit. The tiny home units look like little small garages, and it's 2 people to each unit. You know what I'm saying? At the shelter, at the tiny home shelter. The next day, I saw that dude standing by the gate, and he told me that they kicked him out, and he told me that he had a seizure, and that's the reason why he was going in and out of people's tiny home unit like that. He told me he had a seizure, and he told me that they put him out, and I told that dude, you better off finding somewhere else, man, that's more suitable to look over you if you had a seizure. And I said, I believe you because I saw spit on the floor. Look. Then they moved that dude Brian in there. The moment they moved him in there, I said he looked like them people. He looked like he could be related to some of the people at the testimonial shelter. They kicked me out of the testimonial shelter when I started talking about people putting stuff in my possession, putting socks in my possession, put women's socks in my duffel bag. All of that was happening at the testimonial shelter. Talking about people recording people at nighttime and shit like that. When I started speaking up on that, they said, get out. You know, it's a shelter. So I was like, fuck it. I went back to the LA Mission Shelter on September 11th, 2024. And then by September 17th, 2024, they moved me to the tiny home unit shelters. You know what I'm saying? Listen, at the LA Mission Shelter, you cannot stay there like it's an actual residential stay. You got to book a bed every single night unless you're in the Lakota program or something. It being that I wasn't in the Lakota program, that's like a program for people that's on drugs. I didn't get in the part of any program because I still remember Chaplain Wiley telling me, you're not on drugs. You know, if you ain't smoking drinks since February 2023, then you can't get in this program. And he told me to go to the Union Station and talk to the Metro people, and they'll set me up with another shelter. And that's how I went to the Union Station, talked to the Metro people, and ended up getting in the testimonial shelter. So I went to the Union Station to talk to the Metro people on like the 13th or the 14th, or the 14th of July 2024. By the 18th of July 2024, I went to the testimonial shelter. By September 11th, 2024, so much weird foul shit was going on. They put me out of the testimonial shelter because I was talking about stuff that was coming up missing that was mine, weird stuff going on around where I lived at. And I reached out to everybody about what was going on, and everybody looked me right in my face and said, I don't know what you're talking about. So, fast forward, tiny home shelter. You know what I'm saying? Got there September 17th, 2024. They moved this one dude in. He had a social worker named Kendrick. I remember that much. Then they moved him out. Then they moved another dude in, named Slim. Then they moved him out. Then they moved that dude Brian in. And then me and him got into it one day. And then they moved me out because me and Dog got into it. And I remember asking them the next day, why y'all moved me out? I was like, Dog was one that was clowning. Then they moved me to tiny home unit number 15. They moved me in the tiny home unit number with this dude that was schizophrenic. This nigga come in the room like the next day with a fucking shank on him, dog. I don't mean like a pocket knife. I mean the actual shank. The kind of shanks that you make in jail. That got the bar that you grip on to, that come out that with the motherfucking blade that come out of your like the blade that come out of your knuckles part. He actually had a real like handmade shank. And I was like, bro, you need to get rid of that, bro. I was like, why you even got that? Where you find that at? He was like, you know, one area around the bridge area, I found it over there. I was like, bro, you need to get rid of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I let one of the guards know. That's like, yeah, man, get rid of that shit, man. That nigga was wilding. And then I let them know. I was like, hey, is it a good idea to be in a room with this dude, bro? He's schizophrenic. He medically diagnosed schizophrenic. He could do something And it wouldn't even be like a big deal because he's schizophrenic. And what made me even more upset is that area that they moved me to in tiny home unit number 15, it was on the other side of the tiny home shelter. That side of the tiny home shelter is the side for people who got mental problems because every single day they do a wellness check, which means they come knock on your door and they yell out wellness check. And then it's basically like checking attendance because it's a lot of people at them shelters that's on drugs. So on that side of the shelter, they do a wellness check like 10 times a day. 10 fucking times a day. You feel me? So I was asking them, why y'all move me on this side? This side is more like the high risk side, ain't it? He said, yeah, that area is, but everybody over there don't got no mental problems, man. I was like, yeah, but y'all put me in a room with a dude that's schizophrenic. He need to be by himself. You know what I'm saying? Then they end up kicking that dude out the shelter because he had this big ass wooden like log or stake or something like that. They put him out because he couldn't have it in his tiny home unit number or whatever. Then after they moved that dude out, they moved this other dude in there. And that dude that moved in there, he told me, he had just like moved. He told me he was from Cali or something like that. But the reason why I asked him that, because that dude's voice sounded real familiar. One day when I was at the testimonial shelter, it was this dude who slept in a bunk bed that was on the right side of me, on a separate bunk bed. You know what I'm saying? Not below me. I had a bunk bed that was on the top bunk bed. But this dude slept on the right side of me in a bunk bed. And he slept on the bottom part of the bunk. And he had a voice, like I just remember his voice, you feel me? And I heard somebody saying one day, ha ha, this nigga sleep funny as hell. Ha ha, this nigga sleep with his ass off. Ha ha, this nigga sleep funny as hell. That nigga voice sounded identical to the dude voice who moved into that tiny home unit number 15 after they moved that schizophrenic dude up out of there. So I asked that dude, I was like, hey bro, you got any family members? You got any brothers or cousins? And he told me he did. I was like, you sound similar to this one dude that used to be at the testimonial shelter. They moved that dude out like a day or two later. Then they moved another dude in there named Doze. They moved Doze in, this African dude, you feel me? Then they put him out because they said that he had liquor on him or some shit like that. He told me he had no liquor on him, but he told me that they told me he had liquor on him. You know what I'm saying? Doze he used to always get fucked up, but that nigga wasn't no bother to me. He used to just always get fucked up. They moved him out, and then they moved this white dude named Corey in there. Every time I used to get on my phone, right, my Galaxy 15, I would always see on my Galaxy 15 and even a couple times on my iPhone, do you want to sign in as Martin's Fire Stick when I get on my YouTube? Now, when I got on Instagram, when I got on Facebook, when I just looked at videos that was on Google videos or Yahoo videos or whatever search tool that I was using on the internet, I never seen the notification popping up asking if I should like sign in as Martin's Fire Stick. But whenever I got on YouTube, specifically YouTube and only YouTube, it would ask me if I wanted to sign in as Martin's Fire Stick. So I said, somebody around here named Martin got a Fire Stick and they hacking into my YouTube, dog. One day I heard a dude named Corey talking to this white dude that stayed across from me at the tiny home unit number 15. It was the tiny home across from me. It was a dude, he was talking to him and he called him Martin. And I asked the dude, I was like, hey, bro, I was like, do you got a Fire Stick? Do you be hacking in my phone? He told me no. You know what I'm saying? Then the white dude, Corey, ended up moving out of that tiny home unit number 15 not too long after that, right? When he left a EBT card sitting on the upper top shelf. The EBT card was an EBT card by some lady named Tatiana, yo. He left it sitting at the upper shelf. And he also left a paper that was like a map of Skid Row. I gave both of those to the security guards, the paper and the EBT card by some lady named Tatiana. I don't know who that was. Then they moved me to tiny home unit number 31. It was this old man named Mike. That was my roommate. One day, this one lady come knocking on the door asking Mike if he could loan her some money or something like that. And he started thinking that I knew her. He's like, you know her? I was like, no, I don't know her. I said what's up to her a couple times. I don't know that. I don't know her. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I'm going to fucking lose it if somebody asks me for some money again and this and that and this and that. So later on that day, I'm sitting outside of the tiny home unit number 31. And then I see the lady out there, Sally. That was the one who asked me for some money. And it was also another lady out there named Monica I was talking to. I was just out there talking to them. He walked up to the door. And he was like, oh, so you don't know them either, huh? He was going inside of the unit. He was like, you don't know them either, huh? In a sarcastic way, I was like, I don't know you, Mike. Like, Mr. Mike, I don't know you. Like, are you joking right now? Is this another one of your jokes? He was like, no, I'm really not. And then he walked in the shelter, slammed the door, and I'm like, hey, later on when I walked in the unit, I'm like, Mike, don't talk to me like that. I don't know you, man. I thought the dude was just kind of off. Another time, I washed my clothes. I put my clothes in the tiny home unit number 31. I folded my clothes. I grabbed me a bottle of water. Then I walked back in tiny home unit number 31. And I grabbed my clothes. I grabbed my towel. I go in the bathroom and a nugget of weed fall out of my damn clothes. When the weed fell out my clothes, I recorded a video when I was in the bathroom in the tiny home units. At the tiny home units, on 3rd Street. So all of this is when I was in Los Angeles, California. I think this is in like May of 2000. This is either April or May of 2025, yo. I think this is I want to say it's May 2025, but I'm not certain. I got the video. You know what I'm saying? And I got the exact time I originally recorded the video, yo. I think it was April 6, 2025 or May 5th, 2025, one of those. I recorded a video like, look, somebody trying to set me up, somebody trying to frame me, somebody just put this weed in my towel or some shit like that. For all I know, somebody probably took a picture of it sitting on my bed when I was out grabbing me a bottle of water. This is right after I got done washing my clothes. And I also recorded a video of my white t-shirt that had a whole bunch of dirt stains on it because I said, there's no way a white t-shirt should look like this that just got out the washing machine. Somebody took this shit and actually put it on the floor and then wiped it on the floor with their feet because it had dirt marks on it. It was another time I was asleep. I actually heard myself talking in my sleep, but you know how you be asleep? Kind of sort of how I was talking about earlier, how I was sleeping. I heard some dude standing over me saying, hi, this nigga sleep weird as hell. When I was at the testimonial shelter, I was sleeping. This was when I was in tiny home unit number 31. I heard, stop doing drugs. And I woke up and I see the dude, Mike, walking. He slammed the door. The old man, Mike, he slammed the door and walked up out of there. But he stood over me and yelled out, stop doing drugs. So I truly believe that they was putting shit in my food at that shelter that would make me go into a deep state of unconsciousness, or was probably going to one of the closest corner stores, convenience stores, grabbing some under-the-counter type of powdery substance or some shit, or some type of little small cap that you probably got to just open up and then it release some type of fumes, and it could just put you into the belligerent state of mind for about 5 minutes, and then that 5-minute time span, somebody could try to do something to you in your sleep, sexually assault you in your sleep. If not sexually assault you in your sleep, just record you and manipulate you while you in your sleep. How you talking in your sleep, saying crazy stuff. So I stated, every single time I woke up feeling weird, I either recorded a video or uploaded it and said, look, I think I'm being set up and framed to sabotage, or I went to the doctor and tried to get my urine and my blood tested to see if some type of a illegal substance was in my system. And every time I went to the doctor, they told me, oh, you don't have enough proof to see if something like that took place. They told me that on August 2nd, 2024. They told me that on August 22nd, 2024, when I went to Dignity Health Emergency Room, when I told them that I had blood in my stool and also had blood in my pants, and I wanted to make sure that nothing crazy happened at them shelters or nothing like that. I told them I ain't never in my life seen that much blood in my stool and in my pants, yo. Never in my life. Never in my life. I told him that I got internal and external hemorrhoids, but I said I never in my life had anal sex, and I told him I've been celibate since February 2022. I've been sober since February 2023. I ain't smoke or drink. I'm not smoking or drinking. And I said I ain't never in my life seen that much blood in my pants. And I took off running from the testimonial shelter up out of the lunchroom and went to Dignity Health Emergency Room, yo, August 2nd and August 22nd. And they told me that I didn't have enough proof to actually get my blood tested to see if it was some type of a potent drug in my system. And then September 2nd, 2024, I'm standing on Slauson and Western talking to these Jehovah's Witnesses. I felt myself get lightheaded and I passed out. I went and got some NyQuil right after the 28th of July. I got baptized in Inglewood, California. And I got baptized at this church. I caught a cold a couple days after that, and I asked my sister to cash out me some money. My sister Alicia cashed out me some money to basically go get some NyQuil, to get some cold medicine, yo. Because I caught a cold right after I got baptized on the 28th of July. By August 2nd, 2024, I went to the emergency room. All of this is on file. All of this is on paperwork. August 2nd and August 22nd, 2024. My cold went away, then it came back like late August, early September. I got me some more NyQuil. September 2nd, 2024, I'm at a testimonial shelter. I left my NyQuil sitting outside because outside, It's a smoking area. That's you also where you can eat your food at, or you can eat your food in the lunchroom, but you cannot eat your food inside those shelters and actually like in the rooms and stuff like that. It's against the rules. So I left my NyQuil sitting outside on a picnic table, went in the bathroom after I ate some food, brushed my teeth, came back out of there, took a little bit of NyQuil, walked down the street to the 7-Eleven that was over there on Slauson and Western, went to get me a bag of chips and a bottle of water or a pop or soda or some shit like that. And I saw 2 Jehovah's Witnesses standing outside talking to each other. Started talking to them. I felt myself get lightheaded, passed out, woke up with a fucking bloody mouth, and sat down on the bench at the bus stop. And then I sat down over there, I passed out again, and they told me that I had a seizure twice. They told me you passed out and you fell up back on the ground, and then they said you also passed out when you sat down on the bench and you fell down again, and you passed out after you like sat down on the bench at the bus stop that was over there on Western. And they called the police and the EMS, and then they walked away after that had happened. This dude named Josiah and his pops, they walked away. So how did I get blood in my mouth if I had a seizure? Why do I got bruises on my leg? Why do I got a cut on my tongue? So I got sucker punched. And I was asking them what really happened. I said, if I got sucker punched, just tell me I got sucker punched. Just let me know I got sucker punched. Because when I knew I was about to pass out when I was talking to them. I feel myself get lightheaded. So I said, look, if you thought that I just drifted towards your way and passed out, let me know. If I just drifted towards your way and you saw me out of your peripheral vision and you just hit me out of reflexes, I understand that. Let me know. They was like, no, your mind was too cloudy. You wouldn't really remember. You passed out. I was like, no, man. I was like, no, I didn't have no seizure. It was like you passed out and you had a seizure, and then you got up and you sat down at the bus stop bench, and then you had another seizure. I didn't have a seizure. I went to Centinela emergency room. They ran like 10 tests on my brain. I didn't have a seizure. They said there's nothing wrong with your brain. There's nothing wrong at all with your body was just rejecting something. That's what they told me. And while I was there, I recorded a video. And I said something going on at the testimonial shelter, yo. Something not right, yo. Something ain't right. September 1st, 2024. I saw some lady laying on the ground on Slauson and Western. On the Slauson side. By the bus stop. Laying on the ground. I walked over there. I was like, yo, is she all right? And then I think it was some older lady out there that was like, yeah, she good. I think that was like her mom or something. I walked into the store, grabbed a bottle of water, came back out, saw a girl was gone, and I just put a bottle of water. I set a bottle of water up on like the gate area out there. It was like a black gate out there. I just set up a bottle of water over there and walked away. Now that I'm older though, and reflect back, I think that lady was trying to tell me something. I think that lady was trying to tell me you passed out unconscious and they recorded you and they tried to make a mockery of you at that motherfucking testimonial shelter, yo. The people that lived at that testimonial shelter was related to the people that worked at that testimonial shelter. So when I left there and I went back to the LA mission, I had people talking at me, talking shit to me. One dude was like, what happened at the other shelter? I was like, man, they put me out. Oh, so they just put you out for no reason, huh? I was like, it was all kind of weird shit going on at that shelter. It was people putting shit in my possession, trying to make it look like I'm stealing shit. All kind of stuff. That's why I spoke about that one dude whose shoes got stolen. I asked this dude one day, hey, man, you all right? Like, you right? He like, yeah, man, I'm good, man. It's just a lot of crazy shit going on. Because the night before that, I asked that dude what he be talking about. He said something like, he had a statement like, yeah, we get her done. I was like, what that mean? What you mean we be saying that? You know what I'm saying? He didn't say nothing. He just got up out of his bunk bed. His bunk bed was literally right across from mine. He got up out of his bunk bed and then walked over in the doorway and then started jerking back and forth like he was mad about something. It was this gay dude named Robert who had a bunk bed, and his bunk bed was next to the door, to the exit, to the entrance and the exit of the door. His bed was right next to the door. He used to be recording people at nighttime. I used to see it more than everybody else because my bunk bed was closer next to the windows going toward the back. And my bunk bed was next to this dude named Mike. And on the right side of me was this dude that was the dude that I heard say, ha, this nigga sleep funny as hell. And the dude that was my bunkie, the dude who slept under me, it was this dude that I called OG, this dark-skinned dude that I called OG. I forgot the nigga name. So at nighttime, I used to see this dude recording people. Because my bunk bed was at the top bunk bed. So I used to see everything that was going on that, like up higher at a higher level. And I told that dude directly, dog, you need to stop recording niggas, bro. I be seeing you. That dude, Robert, used to be recording people. He was partially deaf, yo. That nigga was not retarded, though. He was not mentally ill. He was just partially deaf. And I used to tell him, bro, you be recording people at nighttime. You gay. You recording heterosexual men at nighttime. If these dudes see you recording, something bad might happen to you, bro. Then I let the security guards know. Man, y'all need to holler at him. Because if somebody else catch him doing that, they might end up hurting him. I'm not gay. I'm not homosexual. But I'm not homophobic. So I was telling that dude, bro, you need to be careful. Stop recording people at nighttime. And I told the security guard dude, Johnson, Keith Johnson, he told me, yeah, we got to complain about that man before. When I started speaking about weird shit happening and my clippers coming up missing and all that other stuff, they kicked me out. Somebody put some red and black clippers in my drawer. Somebody put some red and black clippers in there. I asked around and said, whose are these? They told me that they didn't know. Everybody was saying, we don't know, we don't know, we don't know. I asked the security guard. He said, you're not even supposed to have clippers in your drawer. You're supposed to give it to us, and we're supposed to put it in the security drawer that's in the middle of the hallway next to the security desk outside of the dorms that's at the testimonial shelter. So I said, oh, I didn't know that. I'll give them to you. When I came back into that room, this one dude grabbed those clippers. He said, my bad, man, those was mine. I meant to give them to your bunkie. Because whoever that bunkie was his cousin. That dude who grabbed the clippers back. I went through my book bag and I had some little mini black clippers that got stolen. Because they wasn't in my book bag. I didn't take them out of my book bag. I never took them out of my book bag. Only time I took them out of my book bag was when I was lining myself up. So when I saw that they was missing, I asked, hey, who stole my clippers? Somebody stole them. They was in my book bag. I asked the security guard, Keith Johnson. He told me, what happened to the red and black clippers? He asked me what happened to the red and black clippers. I was like, I ain't got those no more. Because I ain't want to snitch on a nigga who basically motherfucking told me that he put those clippers in my drawer because he was giving them to my bunkie. And he made a mistake and put them in the upper drawer instead of the lower drawer because my bunk bed was under me. I forgot the dude's name, some dark-skinned dude I used to just call OG. I ran into that dude on 44th Street in Western one day. He was like, damn, man, you around here in the 40s? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the Kingdom Hall. Why you say it like that? He was like, this Crip territory. I'm like, bro, I'm not a blood. I'm not a Crip. I'm not in any gang. I'm going to the Kingdom Hall. Because one day on Slauson and Western, some people was handing out flyers and they invited me to the Kingdom Hall. This dude named Bird that was out there was this dark-skinned lady, and it was an older lady that was also with him. That was like his auntie or something. They all invited me to the Kingdom Hall. I came to the Kingdom Hall and also met this dude named Troy. And Troy had dropped me off at the testimonial shelter a couple times after that, after I left the Kingdom Hall. Troy was an older dude. Troy was like 50-something. That dude, Bird, was probably around the same age as me. But I kept my distance from Bird because he came off as kind of feminine sometimes. After that dude, Keith, the security dude, asked me what those red and black clippers, and I said I didn't have them no more. I asked him if I could look into the security drawer to see if those black clippers was in there because somebody stole them. He said, how can you prove they're yours? I said, can I just see if my clippers is in there, man? Because if they in there, then I'll know who stole them. He said, yeah, but how can you prove they're yours? I said, because I know how they look. He said, yeah, but how could you prove it? He started talking like he was in a court of law. So I'm like, all right, man, whatever. Then he started arguing with this other lady because this other lady started arguing with him because he was giving me a rough time on basically checking the fucking drawer. Then he started following me around the shelter. Then he followed me all the way downstairs. I went downstairs. I left my book bag in this little dining area next to where people wash their clothes at the testimonial shelter. I left my book bag down by the table and I went into the bathroom. He said, grab your book bag. If you don't take your book bag, I'm putting you out. If you don't get your book bag, I'm putting you out. This is on September 10th, 2024. He said, if you don't get your book bag, I'm putting you out. You just got done telling me your clippers got stolen. Now you want to leave your book bag around. I'm like, so what the fuck? You monitoring me now? You chaperoning me now? What you talking about, bro? What do where I put my book bag got to do with you? If you watching me on the camera walk all the way down here, you mean to tell me I can't check in that security drawer to see who got my damn clippers? Grab your book bag, I'm going to kick you out. Grab your book bag, I'm going to put you out. Then the next day I have a meeting with this lady. She's like, I don't know who she is in that shelter, but her name her last name Carter. I called her Miss Carter. I asked her if I could basically search the security drawer, look in the security drawer to see my clippers on there the next day because the security guard wouldn't let me look. She was like, all right. Couple minutes after that, this is September 11th now, 2024. This is the next day after September 10th, 2024. A couple days after that, I mean the next day after that, right? She called me in that office right after I asked her if I can look in the security drawer. And she started talking to me like, did Mr. Johnson say, I mean, she was like, did you refuse to let your book bag get searched by Mr. Johnson? I said, he don't even be at the front door when you first enter the door. This dude named Scott be at the front door. And I was like, I ain't never in my life walked through this shelter and not got my book bag searched. I was like, if I refused to get my book bag to get searched, I would have never even got upstairs. What you talking about? And they called him up on speakerphone and they asked, did Alvin refuse to get his book bag to get searched? He was like, no, but Alvin is schizophrenic. Alvin said that he had some red and black clippers, and then he said that he didn't have any clippers, and then he said his clippers got stolen. So I said, you got schizophrenic out of me, basically, letting it be known that somebody put some clippers in my drawer. The dude who put the clippers in my drawer got them back, and I didn't want to snitch on the nigga. And then at the same exact time, you telling me I'm schizophrenic because somebody stole my black clippers. I've been at bus stops. I've been at the LA Mission Shelter. I've been at the LA Library. At all those different places, it was times that I left my book bag unattended. So it was probably somebody else that took something out of my book bag. I just wanted to make sure that they wasn't in that drawer in the hallway next to the security room. Can I check the drawer to see my black clippers was in there? He told them, oh, he's schizophrenic. And then they kicked me out for that shit. They kicked me out of the testimonial shelter for that. All of that was one big plan. That dude used to be recording people at nighttime. Had a brother named Michael. That dude Michael, I used to tell him, bro, your little brother be recording people with his cell phone. You need to holler at that little nigga before it get worse for him, because somebody is gonna catch him recording him, and it might not be a peaceful experience for him, because he know what he doing. That dude gay and he recording people at nighttime. He knows what he's doing. That man not stupid. They kicked me out September 11, 2024. I walked to the 7-Eleven. I run into this dude named James or Kelly. James Jones, or they call him Kelly. He just so happened to be at the 7-Eleven. He worked with the outreach people at the Union Station, with the Metro people. This girl named Daisy was the one that got me into the tiny home shelter. I mean, she was the one that got me to the testimonial shelter, correction. This girl named Daisy was the one that got me to the testimonial shelter. But her partner, the one she used to work with, was this dude named James Jones, or Kelly. So when I ran into him at the 7-Eleven on Slauson and Western on September 11th, right after they kicked me out the testimonial shelter, when I walked with this big ass, like with this book bag and this duffel bag, he said, man, you good, man. I'll get you in somewhere else, man. Give me your information, man. Let me get your number. And then he got me into the tiny home shelter by September 17th, 2024. The dude, James Jones or Kelly. And I told him, as soon as I walked in that 7-Eleven, man, they was some bullshit, bro. Niggas was stealing from me. It was a whole bunch of weird shit going on in that shelter. All kind of people was putting shit in my possession. People putting women's socks in my duffel bag. That happened like 3 different times, because every single 3 or 4 days, every single like 3 days or 4 days, I clean out my whole duffel bag, I organize. And I see somebody else's socks in my shit. I only had like 3 pairs of socks. So I could tell the difference in some men's tube socks and some women's ankle socks. I could tell the difference. So I recorded a video 2 days ago, and I said when I was in tiny home unit number 35, It was this one dude talking to me about how he know Freemasons and all this other stuff, and he got some Freemason homeboys, and I was stating in this video, I'm not a Mason, I'm not a Blood, I'm not a Crip, I'm not a Folk, I'm not in the gang, I never joined a gang. When I was younger in my teenage years, I hung out on Schoolcraft. You know what I'm saying? Everybody used to throw up a neighborhood called Schoolcraft around there. I hung out with dudes in Brightmo also because I used to stay on Bentler and Grand River in 1997 and in 1998 when I went to this elementary school called Holcomb Elementary, yo. And then when my mom moved on Granville and Acacia in the summertime of 1998, I lived mainly on Schoolcraft. That was the majority of my childhood upbringing was at 1998 to all the way. And then by 2004, my mom moved to Waterford or Pontiac or whatever, or like December 2003 or January 2004, she moved to Waterford or Pontiac. And then by January 2005, she moved back on Schoolcraft in Granville, or Granville and Acacia to be exact, because she never sold that house. She moved in another house, and she was just holding on to that house. So we moved back in our old neighborhood because the bills didn't go right. Some didn't go right, whatever the bills that it was paying over there in Waterford, the city of Waterford, Michigan, and we moved back over there. And then we moved down on Granville and Eaton and Rosedale Park area in the summertime of 2006, yo. So everybody around that area, when I was a teenager, they used to throw up a sign called Schoolcraft, and this is what it looked like, Schoolcraft. I hung out with dudes back in the day that was from Brightmo. This is Brightmo. People from Brightmo throw up Brightmo. That's a neighborhood. Joy Road is this. People from Joy Road throw up that. I had a childhood friend named TJ that used to throw up a neighborhood called Joy Road. I had a childhood friend named VC that was from Brightmo. It was a lot of dudes that I knew back in 2012, 2013 that I hung out with that was from Brightmo and from Schoolcraft area around that way. Southwest Detroit, Number Street area, you know what I'm saying? That's where my whole family tree is from. Anybody that grew up in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, or the early 90s, was born in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, or early 90s, was at least a little familiar with Southwest Detroit. Because that's where my whole family tree was from. And this is the sign to Number Streets. That's the Number Street sign, the Southwest Detroit. And Detroit people used to claim neighborhoods. So a lot of people took pictures in the past and then made up fucked up ass lies, yo. But again, I said I was in tiny home unit number 35 yesterday, the day before yesterday, when I uploaded a video on the 20th of January. And somebody hacked into my phone and hacked it with voice recognition, and they got me saying I was in tiny home unit number 31. That dude, Brian Cooper, was not my roommate when I was in tiny home unit number 31. It was this older man, this old man named Mike. This old man named Michael. And I stated that that dude named Brian looked similar to the gay dude Robert that was recording people at nighttime. That was the first thing I said when they first moved me into that tiny home shelter. A fucked up ass lie got staged on me a long time ago, yo. And this is how I know a lot of people knew it was a lie, because nobody came and talked to me directly. If some lady in California said that I called her a bitch or called her out her name or stole something, that means a man and a woman, a group of men, a group of women, whether they was in a brotherhood, they was probably Masons or Eastern Stars, maybe they was Bloods, maybe they was Crips, maybe they was in some gang. I don't know what they was a part of, yo. I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really care about what somebody is a part of. But somebody lied on me, and everybody maintained that lie and chose to cover it up. I am not in a gang, yo. I never joined a gang. I never got jumped in a gang. I used to hang out with a lot of people in my old neighborhood when I was a teenager. I admit that. I say that. I'm not lying about that. I'm not shying away from that. I used to hang out when I was a teenager, ages of 12, 13. Then I moved to Waterford for a minute, hung out like with this dude named Jay, this other dude named Mike, or Jay Allen, I think his name was, and then Mike. And then we also hung out with this white dude named Brad. And then there was also this dude who stayed further down the street. I think his name was like Jordan. I think it was mixed with like Native American and Chinese and Caucasian or something like that. And then it was these people that stayed across the street from Jay. And it was these two Hispanic boys. They was brothers. I forgot their names also. We used to hoop with them. And it was also this one dude that was Jay Homeboy also. I think all of them went to Pontiac Northern back in the day. That was a high school, Pontiac Northern. And it was this dude named Cash that we used to hoop with also. All of them was niggas that I hung out with when I was living in Waterford, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Waterford, Michigan. But when I moved back to Schoolcraft in Granville and Acacia to be exact, I hung out with a lot of people that were just from around Detroit. Some of them was hood niggas, some of them wasn't. So, if I was in a gang, if I was in a brotherhood, I'll admit that. I'll say that I'm a part of that. And some people are Masons and they say that they're not Masons because they want to maintain that secret. I'm not a Mason, yo. I never took an oath to be a part of anything. I'm not. I think my pops is, I think my granddad is, but I'm not in that. I don't know what they do. I did research before, but it's too much to basically try to read about and memorize and stuff like that. I don't mean it's too much to actually read, like physically, like understand. I mean, it'll change your outlook on so much stuff that's around you. You'll start thinking that everybody is in something. So it'll kind of fuck with your social life to the point where you'll think everything around you, everybody is a part of something. You know what I'm saying? So I chose to stop like reading into that kind of stuff. Because my granddad, who lived in St. George, South Carolina, had a book about that stuff, but I never read it. I recorded a video one time and scrolled through it, and I just let it be known that it's some people on my pop side of the family that's a part of this stuff. It's a lot of people that's a part of that. I'm not a Mason. I'm not in the gang. I'm not in the brotherhood. I never joined a fraternity when I was in college back in the day. You know what I'm saying? With all of that being stated, I was saying this one particular day to this one dude that was saying like, he knew some Freemasons and stuff like that. And he was asking me if I went against the oath or some shit like that. I'm like, bro, I'm not a Mason, bro. I'm not in a fraternity. I'm not in a gang. I was telling dog that. And he started asking me, did you go against the oath? I'm like, bro, I just said that I'm not a Mason. What are you talking about? I just said that I'm not a part of anything. I'm not in a gang, bro. Then he started asking me disrespectful questions, and that's when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just get up out of this convo now, bro. Ain't even no point in even talking to you. Man asking me if I be going around trannies, if I be going around ice cream trucks or schools. I see what you getting at. You basically trying to make it look like that I am what I've been accused of. Because I told that dude that I've been lied on a lot, and people have been trying to frame me and scandalize me when he first moved in that shelter. So I told him when I first moved in that shelter, when he first moved to unit number 35, I was like, hey, bro, if you feel like I'm ever overdoing something or there's some bullshit going on, let me know. Because there's been people who try to allow me and frame me in the past. So then he started asking me like, you be going around ice cream trucks or you be going around trannies? I was like, yeah. Like, you basically trying to throw in my face, you playing right now, but this ain't funny to me because this shit that I've been through, it's been ongoing. Then the dude asked me, what social media platform you on right now? What platform you on right now? Then he asking me how long I've been in jail for. I'm like, bro, if you trying to compare jail time with me or how long I went to jail, nigga, I'm like, you gonna win that one, nigga. I don't want to go to jail. I ain't trying to be in jail. They moved me out and then moved me to tiny home unit number 15, where everybody around the section of the tiny home units where it be people that got mental problems. So the whole point that I'm making is when I first started recording that video yesterday, I said I was in tiny home unit number 35. Somebody hacked my phone with voice recognition and they got me saying I was in tiny home unit number 31 when I was in that unit with that dude named Brian. That was when I was in tiny home unit number 35, not tiny home unit number 31. When I first moved to the testimonial shelter, they moved me to tiny home unit number 35. I was in there from September 17, 2024, all the way up until like early November 2024. They moved me to, or like late October 2024 or something like that. And then they moved me to tiny home unit number 15. I was there from like late October, early November 2024, all the way to like February 2025. They moved me out of tiny home unit number 15 and moved me to tiny home unit number 31. And they ain't even say nothing when they moved me there. They just grabbed my shit and threw it in there. Ain't nobody called my phone and said that they was moving my stuff. Ain't nobody called my phone and asked me if they could move my stuff. I came back from the LA library one day and they told me that I got moved to tiny home unit number 31. I'm not no fool. My family been cloned. That shit exists. I don't know why. I don't know who took the attack toward me, but that happened, yo. And if it's some lady running around saying that I forced myself on her, it's probably some lady who probably just wanted to give me some pussy back in the day and I turned it down. Or it's probably some lady who I talked to back in the day and she probably got a niece or a daughter. And then she probably saw that I was talking to her mama or her auntie and she wanted to basically like give me some. And I probably didn't pay it no mind, and she probably made up some lie about me later on down the line. And if it's some underage lady making up a lie about me, that's just a lie. It's just a whole lie. If it's some lady under the age of 18 saying that I did something with her, and then somebody else basically saying, yeah, fuck that nigga, I'm about to attack him in a secretive way. I'm about to go at him, and I'm going to have people in my clique or my brotherhood hack his phone all day and make things worse. If it's somebody doing that to me, yo, if it's somebody doing that to me, most likely they already know it's a lie, yo. Because why they couldn't just come and talk to me and reach a better peaceful common ground than my whole family getting attacked and getting cloned? And they expect me to not speak on this stuff? Why would I just sit back and watch somebody try to frame me, sabotage me, and possibly get me to get killed or get somebody else around me to lose their life? You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that? Imagine sitting at home with your family. You come home one day and all of a sudden your family don't got the same birthmarks they once had on their face. They don't have the same mold they once had on their face. And they don't even remember certain personal secrets that you had amongst them. They don't even remember certain things that you talked to them about before. How would you feel? Would you say this is a look-alike, acting like a family member of mine? Or would you say, okay, this is my new improved family member. I'm going to just overlook this? And your family could be somewhere else getting attacked, getting tortured, getting murdered, or getting sold off at a sex trafficking or something like that. So whoever it is hacking my phone, dog, they keep hacking my phone on purpose because they're trying to frame me and sabotage me because I said I was in tiny home unit number 35 when I was around this one dude and somebody hacked in my phone and said I was in unit number 31. And as soon as that dude moved in that shelter, I said he looked just like that dude Robert, yo. He could be related to the people at the testimonial shelter. He looked just like him. Anybody think I'm lying? Check my doctor visits. Check my emergency room visits. August 2nd, 2024. August 22nd, 2024. September 2nd, 2024. And then I went to Wesley Health Center around Skid Row September 9th, took the bus back to Slauson and Western, and I ran into them same Jehovah's Witnesses that I saw on September 2nd, 2024 when I passed out, and they told me that I had a seizure. And I asked them, did I get sucker punched? Did I get hit? They told me no. I said, did I get hit in the jaw, sucker punch me thinking that I was trying to be on some bullshit? Just let me know. If I passed out and you saw me just falling towards your way and you thought that I was on some crackhead type shit because I was passing out, I can understand that. They told me no. Okay, so why I got blood in my mouth? Why later on that day when I got back from Centinela emergency room, I saw it was bruises on my leg? Why is it when I was asleep, I felt myself getting stumped, felt myself getting kicked? Why did both of y'all basically flee the scene after I passed out? His pops called me up and asked me if I was all right. And then his pops told me, yeah, you need to get around some people around here. I'm like, man, I'm a grown man. I'm not in the gang. I'm not about to get around people and basically try to like get affiliated with people just because. I told him I moved to Cali by myself. I was trying to get my stuff together. He told me, yeah, man, you need to just get around some people, figure out who your family members is and this and that, this and that. I reached out to my cousin Kenny that's like 70-something, 60-something years old, yo. When I first got to LA, he told me that he had a nephew or a cousin named Mike that stayed in Nevada. Mike like 50-something. He got a son that's like 28, 29 or something like that. He told me he got a son that stay around LA. I told him, okay, cool. I talked to them on the phone. I called up his cousin. I'm like, hey, man, they told me that I'm related to you, whatever. Hey, nigga, hit me. Hey, pull up on me one of these days, whatever. He sent me a text like, text me back this number. It was a number 33. I'm like, wow. He like, just text it back to me. That dude never pulled up on me. I never talked to him. When I was at the tiny home shelter, after I got kicked out of the testimonial shelter, came back to the LA mission, got kicked out of the got kicked out of the testimonial shelter, came back to the LA mission, and then got sent to the tiny home shelter. I sent that dude, Mike, a text message saying, hey, I think I got more family members out here than I thought. And I thought that I was texting Mike that was Kenny's nephew or Kenny's cousin Mike. But it was the other Mike at the testimonial shelter because he responded back, this is Michael Cobb, who was this? And I'm like, wrong number, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is not the same. This is not the same Mike I was reaching out to. I didn't trust that dude, Mike. That dude, Michael Cobb, the one that had the testimony showed who had the gay brother that was recording people at nighttime. I didn't trust him because I told him his brother was moving shiesty. He ain't do nothing about it. One night I hear a car accident right down the street from the tiny home shelter. They closed the gates like, oh man, no, don't worry about it. Like, no, y'all can't leave right now. Still to this day, I feel like something not right, yo. Something not right. It's some bullshit going on. I got my hair twisted on, I think this was the 23rd of September, 2024, by this lady named Nene. I walked into the corner store. I was asking around Skid Row, anybody know somebody that retwist dreads? This dude called up this lady named Nene, and she retwisted my hair on a fucking crate in the middle of Skid Row. Later on that day, I went back to the tiny home shelter. This one dude came, pulled up down the street like, what's up, man? You staying over here now? You staying around here now? It was the dude at the LA Mission shelter, this dude named New York who drove this white Tesla. Everybody around there called him New York. He's like, you stay around here now? And I just said, what's up, bro? And like, put my fist up, like, what's up, bro? And the reason why I looked at him like that and like put my fist up, because when I first got back to the LA Mission shelter, when the testimonial show to kick me out on September 11, 2024, I walked over to the dog and I was like, what's up, bro? And I was trying to book a bed for that night. And he was like, man, that's some bullshit, man. I hit you up when you was at the testimonial show because I was trying to basically get a room there. He was like, now you trying to get a bed? He didn't work there, but he was cool with the people that worked there, the dude Chaplain Wiley that worked there. He was like, man, that's some bullshit, man. Like that's kind of fake, man. I'm like, man, when I first got to the testimonial shelter, and I sent you a text message and told you I was getting baptized. Because one particular day he hit me up. I'm in the Los Angeles library. I said, I'm about to go around the corner to this place called The Lamp, and I'm about to take a shower. He told me, let him know when he leave the lamp, when I leave the lamp, because he want to go to see if he can get a room at the testimonial shelter. I went to this place called The Lamp. It's right next to a laundromat. I took a shower. After I took a shower, I left. I went to this store that was right across the street from the LA Mission. I said a prayer in my mind, like, God, just show me a sign if I should go around this dude. You know what I'm saying? The dude the dude named New York who drove the white Tesla, right around the time, like a couple days before I left the LA Mission, he had went over around MacArthur Park area and went to this Chinese buffet. I went to grab some food. That nigga had bought my food or whatever. He told me he was from New York, and he told me, just watch these shiesty ass niggas in Cali, this and that, this and that. So by the time I get into the testimonial shelter afterwards, he hit me up one day. You know what I'm saying? Told me he was thinking about getting booking a bed there or whatever, getting into that shelter or whatever. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. They'll probably look out for you. The only reason why I didn't get in the car with that dude, when he hit me up on that day and tell me to let him know when I left from that place called The Lamp after taking a shower and all of that, the only reason why I didn't hit that dude up, yo, is because I said a prayer and I just said, God, please show me a sign if I should go around this dude. I walked into the store that was right across the street from the LA Mission when I left that place called The Lamp, and there was some light-skinned lady up in there. She had a prosthetic leg, and she had a boyfriend that worked there also. They both worked there. The light-skinned girl, she looked like she was African-American, but she just looked light-skinned. And it was this dude in there. He looked like he was mixed with like Indian and Native American and like Hispanic. As soon as I walked in there, the light-skinned girl was like, I'm scared. You don't know who you don't know who car you be getting into. You don't know what be going on in life. You don't know what people could be trying to do. You don't know what people could be planning. She said that. So I took that as a sign from God. So when I walked up out of that store that was right across the street from that LA Mission, I did not go to the LA Mission and call that dude New York. I just left. And as soon as I walked up out of there, the light-skinned chick just got on her cell phone, and I feel like something weird going on, yo. Not only that, but also the dude that worked there, that was the cashier, was trying to get me to talk to the light-skinned girl. He was like, hey, man, you want to talk to her, man? You want to get her number, man? I'm like, I'm good, bro. He's like, what, man? You don't think she's pretty? And then the light-skinned lady looked at me, and she was like, you see how you just tried to brush me off like that? You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, so she was talking to me in reference to the dude that was the cashier. And she was like, you see how he just tried to brush me off like that? I'm like, oh, y'all together? I didn't even know y'all play like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how y'all be playing? Because he was joking. He was being sarcastic because that was his girlfriend. He was basically trying to get me to holler at the light-skinned girl. So then I left and I got a text message. By the time I got around like downtown LA, I got a text message from that dude in New York saying, I thought you was a real East Coast dude, SMH. I just saw you. You could have just said something to me if you ain't want me to give you a ride back. You know what I'm saying? I text back, man, you got kids my age. I was basically saying, you old enough to be my pops. You got kids my age. I was like, it's making me real like paranoid and skeptical of you because if you just saw me, why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't beep your horn? But you sending me a text message after you just saw me. In my mind, I thought that light-skinned girl that sent that nigga a text message. Like, yeah, he about to go back to the testimonial shelter. I thought they was in cahoots with each other. So after that day, after I said, you got kids my age, bro, that's weird, bro. And he said, I thought you was a real East Coast dude. I was like, I'm from the Midwest. I'm not from the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Detroit. I guess he took it as like me trying him or something like that because he didn't say nothing else after that. So after that, the very next day, I sent him a text and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm getting baptized in Inglewood. The pastor at the LA Mission Shelter plugged me with the people that's at the church in Inglewood. I'm getting baptized. Like, let some of the chaplains know that work at the LA Mission that I'm getting baptized. You know what I'm saying? He ain't say nothing. He ain't respond to nothing like that. Never got a response from that dude. Never. After that. The next time I talked to that dude was when I came back to the LA Mission Shelter, September 11, 2024. And he was like, man, I tried to basically, it ain't like I was trying to hang out with you. I was just trying to get some shit going. Like, I was trying to see if I can get some housing because I was trying to get some shit going. I mean, I ain't worried about nothing. I'm in my $100,000 car. I ain't worried about nothing. I'm like, yeah, I feel you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I've been through a lot of crazy shit. And they was like, yeah, man, nigga get killed fucking with me, this and that, this and that. And when he said that, I was like, I just kind of looked at him like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he took to heart what I was saying when I said you got kids my age. You know what I'm saying? You making me real like paranoid, calling me saying you just saw me and you ain't say nothing, this and that, this and that. So one day at the LA Mission Shelter, this like September 12th to September 13th, they did a lockdown. I don't know what the fuck was going on. They did a lockdown at the LA Mission, yo. They did a lockdown. And some shit that happened outside of the LA Mission, I don't know. But at this time, it was time for everybody to go upstairs because at the LA Mission, when you get a bed for the night, you got to sign your name on the paper and they got to book you a bed. You got to go in the shower, take a shower, and then you got to change it to the clothes they give you. And then you put your stuff in the bag, you give it to the people behind the counter, and then you get your clothes at 4 o'clock in the morning when they release you. You know what I'm saying? When they basically say, okay, you know, it's time, you go to bed around like 8, 9 p.m. and you leave at 4 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who had to book a bed, the beds was at the top floor of the LA Mission Shelter, yo. But if you was in a program, you actually have like your own little personal bunk bed or cubicle you could sleep in. But if you wasn't in the program and you just had to book a bed for the night, then you was at the top of the you just slept in the beds that was at the top of the shelter. You know what I'm saying? At the top roof on that shelter. That was all the way upstairs. So I came back to the LA Mission and I was there for a week. I was also still working at this place called CSC. And I'll never forget this shit, dog. I told the chaplain, Wiley dude, I said, hey, I got a job, but can I still have a bed for the night when I get off work? They told me, you'll be all right, you good. So I went and did security. This was either at SoFi Stadium or this was at like some soccer game. And then after the game was over and all that other stuff was over with and shit like that, I took the bus back to the LA Mission and they would not open up that gate for nothing. I went around the corner to the Midnight Mission and I went to sleep there. You know what I'm saying? You slept outside, but it was better than just sleeping on the streets. No, matter of fact, I got on the subway terminal and I went to sleep on the subway terminal for like 2 hours straight. I just got on the subway terminal and got on one that went all the way out, then came back. And then the whole ass police basically was like, all right, man, you got to get off here. Like, this is stop right here. Like only way you get back on is if, you know, you got to spend some money or whatever. So I basically like went around the thing and I was telling them like, hey, man, y'all got some change or something. This punk ass nigga, this one cop was like, hey, man, no, don't come over. I don't care. Don't come over. Some dude, he had some type of accent or something. He had to just enforce his badge for that moment. So I went to sleep on the subway terminal, on the bus terminal thing. The midnight mission, I told them the next day, hey, I got a job that I'm working at. If I can't get back to y'all or whatever, let me come here. If they don't basically like let me stay the night at this if I don't have a bed for the night, you know what I'm saying? They was like, all right, cool, just come to the gate, speak up, and we'll let you through. And then I did that the next night after that, because I already knew that they was gonna be on some bullshit. So some type of bullshit happened on that one particular day. This was like September 12th or 13th or 14th of 2024. Something happened outside of the LA Mission around Skid Row. Because I remember coming downstairs like, what happened? They did a lockdown, and I saw this one nigga like smiling at me like this. And there was another bitch that was sitting next to him like looking at me, but like looking away, smiling like that. That same night, I recorded a video on my iPhone 13 right before whatever kind of lockdown took place. And I was like, man, I'm in the LA Mission right now. If any celebrity ever think they talked to me, they never did. I still in here. I still ain't never talked to any female celebrity. I keep saying this because I think that people is talking to celebrities and they talking, they hacking in my phone and talking to them, and then they tricking them to believe that they talking to me in any kind of fucked up way. You know what I'm saying? Or they've been trying to make other people believe I'm talking shit to other people in some type of fucked up way. I recorded a video like that. Then I went into the shower, and then I gave the people my clothes. I was getting ready to go upstairs to go to sleep on one of the beds that they got upstairs. It's not an actual bed. It's just a mat. You know what I'm saying? They give you a little wool cover and a mat to sleep on. You know what I'm saying? We was never around the people that was in those programs, and the Lakota programs. We didn't sleep around those people. They were actually in cubicles, yo. Anybody who just booked the bed for the night, they had to go upstairs and like basically sleep on like the mat that was upstairs where the beds was at the LA Mission. Some type of bullshit happened that day, yo, at the LA Mission. Then by September 15th, I went around Wesley Health Center. I went around that place called The Lamp. I got in the shower, and I had this one dude give me a lineup. I was sitting on the sidewalk. This one dude that gave me a lineup. Then I walked over to the 7-Eleven, like a couple blocks away from Skid Row. Walked in the 7-Eleven. This one girl walked through the door. I held the door before. I stood there for like 20 fucking seconds. I held the door open for her. When she walked through, I said, "You welcome." She said, "Motherfucker, open up your fucking ears." I said, "Thank you." I said, "Yeah, I pray for you." She was like, "Yeah, keep talking that shit and walking away." That's how I knew she didn't say thank you, because if I said "you're welcome," she wouldn't have been offended by it. But she took it as me saying it sarcastically, because I didn't say, "Damn, you can't say thank you." I held the door before. You should say thank you. All I said was, "You're welcome." This was September 15th, yo. 2024. So by September 23rd, 2024, now I'm in the tiny home shelter. I came back around that same area and I got my hair twisted by this lady named Nene. Got my hair twisted. Walking down, came back to the tiny home shelter. I'm walking down 3rd Street and I see the dude in the white Cessna who called himself New York. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man? You living over here now? You staying over here now?" And I was suspicious and skeptical, and honestly looking at that nigga like, last time I seen this dude, he was telling me a nigga get killed fucking with him. So I'm already being like treading lightly, like, and I just said, "Hey, what's up, bro?" I couldn't really see him from far away. At this time, I didn't even have my glasses yet because I didn't have benefits to get some glasses. So I just put my fist up like, "What's up, bro?" And there was this light-skinned girl on the side of him. And I said, that must have been that same light-skinned girl that was in the store that was working in the store with her boyfriend that had that prosthetic leg. That must have been her. And that made me even more suspicious and skeptical, because that made me say, okay, then why is she with this nigga now? That same girl that I saw in that store. My first week at the LA Mission Shelter, I got on the plane July 12th, 2024. By like the 14th or the 15th, I walked in that store and that lady just started smiling at me. She looked at me immediately like she recognized me. That light-skinned lady, yo. So then I started having dreams and visions and shit of my sisters and my mom asking me for help in California. Not in Michigan, not in Florida, not in Georgia, actually in the state of California. By June 2025, June 10th, 2025 to be exact, I jumped on a flight to come back for my cousin Evie's funeral, and I still was planning on going back to California. June 10th, 2025, yo. By like June 11th, June 12th, 2025, I'm having dreams of my sister calling out to me for help. So I started thinking, it's a possibility they reeled my family out, cloned them, attacked them, and then hacked in my phone, lied on my image, and made it look like that I was socializing back and forth with only God knows who. And then they put it online and tried to publicize it and frame me, set me up, and sabotage me. March 23rd, 2025, my Instagram got hacked. I was on Instagram and I felt my phone vibrating. I didn't see keys vibrating. I just felt my phone vibrating. I looked over across from me. I saw that old man, Mike. That was my roommate at Tiny Home Unit number 31. And he looking down on his phone and looking at me like this. He looking down on his phone and looking at me like this. And I jumped up and I was like, yo, somebody hacking my phone right now. I actually feel the keys vibrating on my phone. It's not a keyboard visible on my screen, but I feel like somebody's texting right now. By the 24th of March, 2025, my fucking Instagram account said it's suspended. Instagram suspended my account because somebody put up a fake ass demo on my screen, a falsified diversion on my screen, a fake ass internet on my screen, a distraction, a mirage. You know what I'm saying? Meaning it wasn't real Instagram. It was just a fake Instagram. And they went into the real Instagram. They uploaded something on my phone and they framed me and sabotaged me. And it was something explicit that got my Instagram account suspended. I went to the Ralph's grocery store on 3rd and Vermont and also went to the McDonald's. And I recorded a video like, yo, something not right, man. My phone getting hacked. So everybody in LA was in on that, yo. If not everybody, the majority of them, they was in on that shit. And they didn't do that because they heard something fucked up. Because, come on, man, who you fooling, man? I grew up in the hood, bro. Like, one thing I loved about my life is I had the best of both worlds. My dad stayed in the suburbs. My mom stayed in Detroit her whole life. I had family members that was from the hood on my mom's side of the family. On my dad's side of the family, they came from way more of a rural background, way more of like a area that was around like nothing but like trees and crops and stuff like that and planting, and you know what I'm saying? So I come from hard work, from a point of view of hard work, like for real hard work when it comes to like doing yard work. And then also hard work when it comes to observing people that worked in factories and warehouses and stuff like that. But you got niggas walking around out here bragging about how they done killed niggas dead homies, bragging about how they beat some nigga ass, bragging about how they beat some lady up. And you mean to tell me that somebody make up a lie about me and it made the majority of the whatever they a part of just go against me and help lie on me? You can't tell me that you did that because you heard something scandalous about me. No, you did that because you did that because you know I'm gonna walk with God, you know I'm a prophet for God, and you just wanted to mess something up for me. That's just how I see it. Because there was no reason to do that. Y'all lied on me, yo. So my mind made up, man. No, I'm not letting that like something happen. So I started thinking, is it a crazy ass possibility that was my sister? I reached out to my sister October 2024, like, yo, you all right? Like, it's some weird shit going on with our family. She just kept clearing her throat. Like, she was talking to me, but she wasn't really saying everything. I'm like, something not right, yo. Every time I got on my YouTube, I would see so-and-so Roku TV wants to sign into your YouTube account. Martin's Fire Stick want to sign into your YouTube account. And it was only when I was on YouTube. That's how I knew my YouTube was hacked. People walking around with headphones on, acting like they just chilling, and they listening to every damn thing that I'm uploading on my phone. What is they listening for? What are you looking for? It's a nigga right down the street. It's a nigga right around the corner that probably done popped somebody. It's a nigga work at the store that probably done did some scandalous shit. Somebody doing something with girls under the age of 18. They're not far. They're not hard to find. So what's making everybody hacking in my phone, listen to all my videos? What are you listening for? What are you looking for? You do know I can talk, right? You do know you can just ask me if something's true or not, right? A lot of people said, no, nigga, we gonna lie on you. We gonna frame you. We gonna sabotage you. And I even asked this dude because that dude, it was this white dude in that tiny home shelter named Corey when I was in tiny home unit number 15. He knew this white dude named Martin. But that white dude named Martin, that name was not on a sign-in sheet in the binder because at the tiny home shelters, it's a sign-in sheet that you got to sign into every single day. You open up the binder and it's your name. It's a picture of you and then it's your name that come after that. It's a picture of you and then it's your name. It's a cover picture of you in that binder and then you flip a page and then you sign in your name. It's like taking attendance every day. You got to sign in that book every single day, right? That dude, that white dude, that wasn't his name on the sign-in binder. That Martin name, that wasn't his name. But the white dude called him Martin. He said that's another name of his. The white dude, Corey, knew that dude. I didn't know how he knew him. But I heard that white dude, Martin, arguing with his girl one day because she called the police for something. He was going off on her for calling the police. I remember looking out the tiny home unit number 15 window and seeing police lights reflecting off of the tiny home units, off of the tiny home houses and stuff like that. I remember this. This is in like December 2024, November 2024. And I just heard them arguing back and forth like, he's yelling and he's talking about this and that and all of that. Like, I heard that. So the reason why I said like I'm from the hood is because it's no way somebody heard some hood shit about me and they said, okay, we gonna lie on this man, frame this man, sabotage this man, hack his phone, do all this foul shit just because we heard some scandalous shit about him. Ain't no way, yo. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Y'all looked at me and y'all said he by himself. That's what everybody really said. That's the truth. They said he by himself. They said that nigga by himself. And he got enough willpower and honesty to not be smoking, to not be drinking, to not be fucking these ladies left and right and all of this other stuff. He said he been celibate since February 2022. He said he been sober since February 2023. He not a part of a gang. He let it be known that he's not in the gang. He let it be known he's not in the brotherhood. He let it be known he's not a part of an organization. He never joined a fraternity even when he was in college days. He let that be known. So nobody had no mixed thoughts and mixed confusing thoughts and all of that. And a lot of people said, okay, he by himself. We can lie on this man. We can frame him. We can sabotage him. That's what that's what had me making reports. That's what had me recording shit. Because I realized it's people lying on me, trying to frame me, trying to sabotage me, trying to record me. I'm at the tiny home shelter eating food and I see somebody recording me. I'm walking down the street, I see somebody recording me. I'm on a bus and there's somebody hacking in my phone. I'm at the library. That was the main gold mine for people to hack my phone at the library. People walking around acting like they just regular innocent bystanders hacking my phone. What are you looking for? If somebody trying to steal the business that I'm working on, I could at least say, okay, they trying to steal my shit. They trying to come up off my shit. I could at least be understanding to say, okay, they trying to rob me for that shit. I can understand that. It ain't right. It's fucked up. It ain't cool, but I can understand that. But people was going through my shit at the testimonial shelter. I had papers in my book bag that was papers that my cousin William sent me from jail of his whole report of everything he was going through. They went through that, took pictures of that, made lies up about me through that. I made a federal report talking about how people was hacking in my phone, trying to frame it like I'm talking to people under the age of 18. They went through that, and then they tried to say that people tried to say that I was a sellout, that I was a hoe ass nigga, that I was a snitch. Some underage girl sent me a picture of her breast, December 2022. I ain't even about to explain my damn self no more. December 2022, some underage girl sent me a picture of her breast. I reported that to the child exploitation website because I'm like, no, y'all trying to frame me. I was in St. George one day. This one girl, she looked like if she was grown, she looked like she was probably 1 day over 18. This one lady was like literally continuously, constantly bending over me, like trying to bend over in front of me with her skirt on. I was just looking at the mom like, yo, you just gonna let her do that? I just kept looking at the mom. I was locking eyes with her mama. Like, I was just looking at her like, why are you just letting her, like, why are you just sitting there letting her do this? So I was like, when I got in the car, I was like, that girl had to be at least 18. Yo, she had to be. But I never said anything to anybody else about it. I never said anything to that little girl. I was just looking at the mom like, yo. That was like January 2024 when I was in St. George, South Carolina at the Food Lion. So when I realized what was going on and people was hacking in my phone, I was like, nah, yo. Nah. April 6, 2024. I went to Raleigh, North Carolina. No, April 7, 2024. I went to Raleigh, North Carolina, yo. April 6, 2024, I was in St. George, South Carolina all day. I didn't go anywhere. All day, April 6, 2024, I was in St. George, South Carolina. By midnight, April 7, 2024, I GPS how long it would take to get to Raleigh, North Carolina. It said 3 hours and 27 minutes, and I screenshotted that because 3:27 was my B-day. And then I went to Raleigh, North Carolina, April 7, 2024. I didn't have no fucking money to get into the motherfucking concert. I just pulled up. I just feel like God was telling me to go. Got there and started talking to these 2 female cops. I did try to use a couple people wristband to get in, but I couldn't get in like that. So I was like, fuck it. Started talking to these female cops. End up getting in there. No, I helped them out. I helped them take some boxes to their car. I went in there to get my phone and then also helped them take some boxes to their car. Took some pictures with them and left. And I recall saying that if I was being sexually active, I would have definitely hollered at both of them because the dark skinned lady was thick. Like she was no disrespect if she got a man or something, but I was saying like, yeah, she nice. And the other Hispanic lady, I was saying like, if I was sexually active, I would have hollered at both of them. I would have tried to get at both of them. But they didn't even know that I was fasting on that day. That was like I was on day number 2 of fasting when I was talking to them. I was drinking only water. I wasn't eating any food. I had already went over 24 hours without eating when I was around them. A lot got told to me in some type of scandalous way, dog. Sick of this shit. So if my family got reeled, man, no, I ain't letting that go. No. My family got cloned and reeled out, and people been playing a whole bunch of other people for a fool this whole time, telling people that I'm a part of some secret organization. I'm being lied on. I'm being framed. That's why I put up a post on YouTube and I said, look, if my family is in somewhere else in another state, somebody please let me know. When I thought about that dude everybody called New York and California, that white Tesla pulling up. And I said, if that's a possibility, that ain't no way that that's my sister, yo. Because if that's my sister, yo, that mean I got played for a fool. If I walk down the street and I see my sister in the car with some other nigga, I'm like, what the fuck you doing here? That would have been the first thing I said. What the fuck is you doing in here? So if my family got cloned and there's people lying on me trying to make it like I'm a part of some secret society or something like, I'm not letting that go. No, I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that go. Because at this point, ain't nobody following no fucking law. Ain't no police officers following no law. Look what everybody doing. Everybody said, nigga, you by yourself and I want to fuck with you. Come on, man. There's killers and rapists and pedophiles all over the damn place. They easy to find. They easy to scope out. They all over the damn place. They name be on the motherfucking list. So ain't no way it's this many people hacking my phone all day, searching to see if I'm socializing with somebody that's under the age of 18. There's no way that it's this many people hacking in my phone, searching to see if I'm socializing with somebody that's the police. Ain't no way. No, my phone getting hacked, and there's people hacking in my phone, and they socializing with other people, framing me and lying on my image and sabotaging me to look like I'm talking to somebody. So they'll tell somebody, "Hey, intercept this call right here. I'm about to call you from this number." They'll call me from a number. They'll call somebody using my name and my image and my account to do it, and they'll try to make it look like that I'm talking to somebody that I'm not talking to, yo. July 2024, yo. I said this was either July or August 2024 at the testimonial shelter. I'm in the testimonial shelter on the phone, on the internet, on Snapchat. And I saw a whole bunch of activity around Slauson and Western. The restaurants, the stores, all that shit. My phone glitched. My avatar was on the map on that phone, on the Snapchat app. I'm on the app on Snapchat. And I can click on any video. I can click on like a section of that map and just click on a video that somebody recorded around there. All of that vanished. And my avatar was just standing there by itself. No more videos to look at. That means somebody put a demo up on my phone. Somebody put a distraction on my phone. A diversion up. And played me for a fucking fool. And the only way that somebody could get away with something for this long is if it's somebody with a way, way, way higher powerful position that's covering it up, yo. So it's fucked up when you got police turning their back on you, making sure that you don't that this type of shit don't get spoken of. It's fucked up. I had a dream that my sister was driving and it was a white car with its hood popped up like it needed to jump. And she pulled over in front of it and started crying. And then somebody pulled me out the car. And I was like, no, no, no. And I feel like that was God telling me. That's what my sister said. I'm one of the 144,000 prophets for God, yo. God be giving me visions. And God see what everybody doing. God see what everybody is doing. Everybody think they getting away with because they moving in a secretive way. You think God gonna let you? God not letting. Man, look. I'm going to ask God for direction. I'm not letting that go, but I'm going to follow what God telling me to do. I look up on pictures on Facebook. My mom looked different. My sisters look different. My brother looked different. And people think I'm going to just say, oh, okay, there's my new improved pictures of my family. All of them look Photoshopped. That's not them, but hey, okay. I told my sister Keisha to send me a picture of my sister and my sister and her and my mom. She sent me a picture. My sister's face is way bigger than my mom's face in the picture. That is not my sister next to my mom. That's Photoshop. If it's not Photoshop, something not right with that picture. Because my mom's face is not bigger than my twin sister's face, yo. So if everybody has grouped up and said, yeah, we go fuck this nigga life up, we go fuck this nigga life up, they walk past everybody else to come at me and try to attack my family. And in my mind, whoever lied on me, whatever lady came forth and made up a lie about me, you knew it was a lie. You knew it was a lie. You go act like you didn't know it was a lie. You go play completely clueless. You go play shocked, but you knew it was a lie. You knew it was a lie. Because there's no way somebody is going to jump on a jet, fly around the whole globe, ruin my life around the whole globe, touch back down to where they at, and then be like, hey, oh, is it true? Oh, it wasn't true? Oh, okay, my bad. No, you knew it was a lie. You knew it was a lie. You knew. All y'all knew. But I be begging God, wherever my family at, God, keep them safe, keep them healthy, keep them alive, deliver from evil, protected from evil and danger, because I'm not stupid, and I know for a fact that they've been cloned. There's somebody out here, there's some nigga out here, there's some man out here that's lying on me trying to steal my story, yo. And that's not going to end well because at some point, You got to go before God. You know what I'm saying? That's just happened. That's inevitable. Everybody got to answer to God at some point in their life. I think it's funny to me how some people think they can sell their soul and they think they can give their soul away to somebody else or something else that never had their soul to begin with. It's a lot of people in this world that mess with devil worship. They mess with witchcraft and they think that they can sell their soul. If you do something to give up the physical capabilities of yourself, basically saying if somebody tell you, hey, you got to go fuck with that guy over there, you got to hack that dude phone over there, hey, you got to go do this, you got to go do that. That's not selling your soul. How can you sell something can you make your soul elevate from your body right now and then go put that shit on a market somewhere? No. Can you take your spirit out of your body and then compare those two? You can't do that. How can you sell something? You can't sell something that you never owned. God owns your soul. No matter who you are in this world, whether we like it or not, no matter if you live the most evil life, if you lived a good life, if you felt like you lived an evil life, if you felt like you lived a good life, no matter what kind of life you live, everybody, and I mean everybody's got to go before God at some point in time in their life. There's no way of escaping that. There's no way around that. It's impossible to get around that. But a lot of people faith be messed up these days because when you see people, like when you see that we got enough technology to actually possibly clone somebody, people be like, I don't believe in God. That's what a lot of people say. They say, oh, I don't believe in God because if you can clone somebody, then all this other stuff the Bible say and all this other stuff, man, look. Human beings used to live for 500 years, 600 years, 800 years, 900 years back in those biblical days. They were smart. They was very smart. It's a whole lot of stuff that been taken out of context. It's a whole lot of stuff that been taken out of. They took like it's 80 books in the Bible, dog. I was basically answering trivia questions the other day, and the number 80 wasn't even an option on the trivia questions. They had how many books are in the Bible? 72, 66, 100. How many? They didn't even have 80 up there. My point is, ain't no telling how many secrets is in this world, yo. All I'm saying is this. I'm not about to just sit back and watch people attack my family, attack me, and move in a secretive way and then just move on and like mosey on like, fuck that shit. Nah, bro. Fuck y'all. See, man. I'm sorry, God, for my sins. Sorry, God, because in Jesus' name, man. Forgive me, please, God. In Jesus' name, our Father, Jehovah God, I pray. Amen. God bless everybody, yo. But somebody got to tell me something, man. Like, the whole point that I was making is when people do a lot of messed up stuff, they faith get messed up. They don't believe in God. They don't believe that God exists. You feel me? And then they start doing a whole bunch of foul stuff. And they don't believe that they got to go before God and they got to answer to God. They don't believe that. They really don't believe that. Whether you like it or not, everybody got to answer to God. Whether you like it or not, at some point in time, everybody got to answer to God. And I mean everybody, every human being.